Kwame Nkrumah was a Ghanaian politician and revolutionary who played a key role in the country's fight for independence from British colonial rule. He was born in 1909 in the village of Nkroful in the western region of the Gold Coast, as it was then known. Kwame received his early education in the local mission schools before going on to study at Achimota College in Accra. He later traveled to the United States to attend Lincoln University and the University of Pennsylvania, where he earned a degree in education. Upon his return to the Gold Coast, Nkrumah became involved in the country's independence movement. He quickly rose to prominence as a leader of the Convention People's Party, which he co-founded in 1949. In 1951, Nkrumah was elected as the leader of government business and later became the first Prime Minister of independent Ghana in 1957. As Prime Minister, he implemented a number of social and economic programs, including free primary education and the establishment of a national health service. He also pursued a policy of industrialization and modernization in Ghana, which helped to spur economic growth. During his time in office, Kwame Nkrumah's government set up a number of institutions in government to help promote economic and social development.
Ghana is a small but very dynamic, independent African state. We are trying to reconstruct our economy and to build a new, free and equal society. To do this, we must attain control of our own economic and political destinies. Only thus can we create higher living standards for our people and free them from the legacies and hazards of a colonial past and from the encroachments of neo-colonialism.
Some of the key institutions established during his tenure include the Industrial Development Corporation (IDC), established in 1961, the Volta River Authority, established in 1961, the Ghana National Oil Corporation, established in 1963, which was responsible for exploration, production, and distribution of oil and gas in Ghana. The National Investment Bank, established in 1964, was responsible for providing loans and financing for businesses and entrepreneurs in Ghana. The Ghana National Service, established in 1960, was a mandatory service for young people in Ghana. The service aimed to promote national unity and development and was used as a tool for building infrastructure and human resources throughout the country. The State Housing Corporation was established in 1960 with the responsibility of constructing and managing state-owned housing in Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah's government was also known for its strong stance on Pan-Africanism, and he played a leading role in the formation of the Organization of African Unity in 1963. Despite his successes, Nkrumah's government faced a number of challenges and criticisms, including allegations of corruption and political repression. In 1966, a military coup led by Colonel Emmanuel K. Kotoka overthrew Nkrumah's government. Nkrumah went into exile in Guinea, where he lived until his death in 1972. Despite the circumstances of his downfall, Nkrumah's legacy lives on in Ghana and throughout Africa. He remains a symbol of the struggle for independence and a champion of Pan-Africanism. Nkrumah's government was known for its strong international engagement, particularly on the African continent. Nkrumah himself was a strong advocate of Pan-Africanism, the idea that people of Africa should work together to achieve political, economic, and social unity. One of the key ways Nkrumah pursued this goal was through the formation of the Organization of African Unity in 1963 and served as its first chairman. In addition to his work with the OAU, Nkrumah also pursued a number of international initiatives. He was a strong advocate for the non-alignment movement, which sought to promote cooperation among countries that were not aligned with any major power bloc. He also promoted the idea of a United States of Africa, which aimed to create a single unified African government.
Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our every weakness. They prey upon our vanities and flatter us in every kind of way. They tell us that this particular person or that particular country has greater or more favorable potentialities than the other. They do not tell us that we should unite, that we are all as good as we are able to make ourselves once we are free. We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound, like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mold. We find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them. Fighters for African freedoms, I appeal to you in the sacred name of Mother Africa to leave this conference resolved to rededicate yourselves to the task of forming among the political parties in your respective countries a broad united front based upon one common fundamental aim and object, the speedy liberation of your territories. Don't let us also forget that colonialism and imperialism may come to us yet in a different guise, not necessarily from Europe. We must alert ourselves to be able to recognize this when it rears its head and prepare ourselves to fight against it. This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
Nkrumah's government also had close diplomatic ties with the Soviet Union and other socialist countries, and he sought to build economic and military cooperation with them. Nkrumah was also a leading voice for the decolonization and liberation of Africa and actively supported the anti-colonial movement in the continent. Thank you for watching. We hope you learned something about the life and legacy of Kwame Nkrumah.